divine timing. And wow, I don't know if you could see that, but the light is creating a weird. I'm just gonna let that stay there because there's been some weird stuff going on like that as it is. I almost feel like I have divine vision with that. Anyways, I just Spirit just showed me a song. I shared it just a minute ago on the channel called "I'm Not Broken," and it's funny because I mean, I'm feeling there's a DM channeling coming in that I'll probably do soon, but I'm actually feeling like this is kind of one of those divine nuggets. Definitely listen to the song, but I think that when we get to certain parts in our journeys, whether twin flame or not, we get to a place where we feel scared to try again or to do more things, or we get we get faced with our oldest fears, and like the astrology will pull us into that stuff a lot. And like, if you have a fear of being too much or not enough, or you have a fear of choosing bad partners, or you have a fear that you're going to be too messy or that you can't succeed, you're going to be faced with those fears again and again and again until you are no longer triggered or traumatized by them. And then you get to this, like, it's funny, it's not a jello place. It's funny. I almost want to say it's a soup place. Like it's comfortable. It's like a jacuzzi. You're like, you know what? I see that either you own that you have various characteristics that are like, yeah, I could be a bit controlling, but you're not uncomfortable with that. You've faced your shadows, you've done your work, and you're like, you know what? I do have some challenges with control, but I'm in a place where I can recognize when it's inappropriate and when it's appropriate, and I can love myself for that part of humanness in myself. And the other thing, too, especially when it comes to relationships of any kind, is I mean, for those of you that really go both feet in, you don't have one foot out, one foot in. You go both feet in. You get really attached right away. Whether or not you have healthy boundaries, like it can be scary and difficult. Even I mean, whether it's going in back into union with the twin flame, who is definitely gonna have some more triggers, and like it's gonna be a emotional roller coaster, a moon cycle or moonsicle. Um, or whether you're thinking about soulmates or like even in any number of that, or maybe you need some time with a karmic, either good or negative, like either way. It can be scary when you've been through really big heartbreaking moments and you can feel like you're just broken. Like I mean, I had in fact, I shared some moments where I had thoughts like that in the last like couple of weeks with my DM. It was kind of an interesting moment because I had already faced a lot of that stuff, not just in the last year of this big separation, but before I knew anything about the journey, before like I knew in my heart that he was my DM, but I didn't know those terms. I didn't have community. That like YouTube wasn't around. You know what I mean? Like Facebook wasn't around. Those things were not there. I didn't have connection, so I just assumed it was just a normal thing and that it wouldn't come back when it was gone. And so I faced that stuff. And it really, it did break me in a lot of ways. I mean, even after my oldest son, I had postpartum depression because the circumstances to which I'd met my DM and doing all that stuff, like it didn't seem like he was going to be there. And I just felt like I just had to face that. There wasn't any trying to bring it back or trying to make it happen or runner chaser things or like, what can I do? And like, because we had not had a long term shared commitment with our kids, I didn't feel like I had any right to do any of that in the first place. It was like if he wants to come and be a part of life with us, then he will come, and and or the like. What ended up happening was the right cooperative components came together, and I made an offer to him, and it was but like it was funny because I wasn't looking for the information; it came to me. Like it flowed to me. It was something I wanted in my heart, but I wasn't waiting for it. I wasn't pursuing it. I just wanted it. And like, but it was at that time, even I was still trying to like, I'm a Capricorn. I've never really been like hot on the trail of the next date sort of thing, but I'm a hopeless romantic too. And so I didn't used to turn down those opportunities, especially when I didn't think that there was any, I suppose it's different after you're, with someone for 15 years and common law married and have a few kids and all these different things. So, like, before all those strings were in there, it just felt like I just needed to be open to others. I also hadn't faced a lot of my anxious attachment stuff and attachment traumas and things like that, so it was from a different place. But going through it this last year, it's funny, it's been a repeat of going through that stuff, which I was so afraid to face. That's part of why the fighting happened on my end. And like, to go through and face that stuff again, but from a whole different perspective, it really it's a stark difference, I think, between where I was when it's like I'm just broken. I just felt like I was just broken. I wasn't going to be able to find another relationship that would feel like it felt like with him. And it didn't seem doable with him and in the circumstances that were there. And now it's kind of like, I know that he's my DM. I know what I want. I know what spirit tells me. I know what all the synchronicities say. I know him and his own patterns. I have a lot more information, and I know Union is here. Like, it's already actually here even before the 3D stuff is in. Like, I've already been seeing it. There's more things that need to go on in the 3D, but it's already there. Our hearts are already there. The connections are already there. And he won't even allow me to break the strings even if I ask for it, which is really adorable and funny. But, like, I still think about there's still timeline possibilities, and I might even choose one of them. You never know, where we aren't in any sort of romantic relationship. We might, it could even be that we just, we stop seeing each other and move on in different directions. And whereas in the past, like, I accepted that, but I still had it in my heart as just being heartbroken about it. Like, I'm so guarded, and what am I gonna do about all this now? It's kind of like, what? Like that song. It's like, what? I'm bruised. I admit it. Like, I haven't gone on and done a really emotional video that had to do with my emotions with my DM in a long time. Hey, Kentucky John. Like, I haven't done one of those, but it doesn't mean that the feelings don't come up every once in a while. It doesn't mean I don't still, like, I still have regular moments that I cry about it, from frustration, from sadness, from the moments that I miss all of the little things that I used to be able to do for him that were things that he liked, and vice versa, things that he did for me, remembering that it sucks because it's not like I just lost a sex partner. Like, I lost the father to my sons, and I lost my best friend too. Like, I realized actually when I called for separation that, like, we filled up so many good we checked so many buckets for each other that we really did not need a whole lot of other people. Like, we really didn't. I mean, it's not that it was infallible and stuff like that, but we just, it was a lot. That was a lot of space to fill. And I know the same is true for him. Um, and maybe even more so because I have the kids with me. But the funny thing is that hearing that song, it was so divinely timed, especially with current War of Roses energy going on, that it was like, it couldn't be more perfect to hear this song right now. That and the It's funny, it's called I'm Not Broken, and the chorus of it is, I am bruised but I'm not broken, and I choose to live with arms wide open. And it literally talks about, like, I've been through a lot of stuff. My heart has been in pieces. There are always pieces that are going to be in weird places, but I can love, and I can succeed, and I can do anything. And I'm not broken. I'm I'm bruised, yeah, and I can feel it. I feel it in my heart. I can feel it in my bones. I can feel it in my life. But I'm not broken, and neither are you. Like, it's like I said. I had a moment where I actually shared some of those feelings with my DM, and I know that it shocked him because I really probably, well, I shouldn't say should. I had the opportunity to share a lot of feelings like that him in with him in the beginning, and I know he was shocked that I didn't. But we'd also been through this stuff before, and I had a lot more information, and I got spirit led me to the twin flame stuff, and I decided to do something radically different, and I faced my own emotions. I became responsible for my own emotions. I did not put them on him. I did not, like, I did share them with him, But I focused more on the good stuff. 10:10 on the clock, and 10:01 on the timer. Look at that. And I decided to focus on what I wanted rather than how broken I felt. And that helped me get to this point right now, even where I can do something that I've not been able to do with him before, which is release him with faith that he can do it, that he's going to be just fine, that when the time is right, he'll find his way back to me or find my videos and see that, get the spiritual side of things, and everything will line up. Whereas when we first separated and he got into the karmic situation, I did not feel that way. And even before then, I was already kind of exploring polyamory because of the weird commitment phobia that he had, and like that was already kicking up stuff for me because like he was my anchor, so I could explore some other things, feeling like he wasn't going to go anywhere until the spirit intervened and said, nope, you all need to go to your own corners. Ding ding. Fight over, go to your separate corners, work on your own shadow work, do your own stuff. Like, you'll connect in the middle for a few rounds here and there, but you're going to your corners to get, to restore and rejuvenate and figure this stuff out. And over this time, I've even seen that he has been doing that, and it always happens like in the moments when I think that something isn't happening and that he's not doing the same work that I am in his own ways. Then he shows me that he has been, and spirit shows it to me. So now I'm in a place where I've got lots of options, like I mean, I'm more enjoying going, as Divine Maverick says, going for the point, and focusing on social stuff and community, like really enjoying this Aquarius stellium energy in the sky and sharing divine nuggets and stuff like that. But when it comes to like love and like being open to those opportunities, I feel like I'm in a flexible place. Like, I've been afraid of a lot of that for a number of reasons, but I feel good about it. I do feel bruised. And you're going to feel bruised multiple times, but if your words matter. And like it doesn't matter how many times that you failed or feel like you have, because you really haven't failed. You either succeed or you learn. That's the way that I play. There isn't really any failure. If you hit what feels like failures, your business doesn't go well, you lose a job, you lose a relationship, you screw things up with somebody, it doesn't matter. You're learning something, because when you go through that, you either see yourself and the patterns that got you into that situation, or you see the kinds of people that you aligned yourself with that got you into that situation, and you start to work on that stuff, and then you succeed a little more, and then you learn a little more and succeed a little more, and learn a little more and succeed a little more. And that's kind of, I think, the energy that came to me through that song was to talk about learning. That is the, each time, yeah, you may get a little bruise. You may even get a scar here and there. You may get a cut that stays open a little longer, but you don't get broken. And it's okay to have moments where you express that you feel broken. It's all right. Whether, with a friend, or send me an email, or you do it with your twin flame, or whatever it is, counselor, like, it's okay. In fact, it's better when you can admit those moments that you do feel broken and just say, I feel fucking broken right now. But don't stay there. Don't stay in that place. Just let yourself feel it for a minute, because if you try to resist it, it'll persist. But then go to a place to where you go, okay, I had that moment. I felt that moment. If I needed to like yell and scream about it, I did. If I needed to spin out, I did. If I needed to share it with somebody, I did. I did that stuff. I was in that place. Now what am I going to do? Am I going to stay there? Am I going to stay feeling broken? Because if somebody who feels broken, nothing's going to change. What you believe is true is true. So if you continue to feel like you're broken, like you keep repeating the same stuff over and over again, you're going to stay in that sort of neverland. Whereas if you start to go, you know what, okay, I had that moment, and maybe even I did break, maybe I broke right open just for a minute there, but I'm coming back together. I still got my body, I still got my brain, I got this beautiful connection to spirit. I have people around me who love me and know that I do things like that sometimes, and they're going to be there when I'm ready to come back around and come back from the other dimension and be there. And there's going to be new people. Like, even if you do lose everybody that you know, like, that the people have survived much worse things. And if you get to a mindset of, you know what, I'm bruised, but I'm not broken. Like that song, you listen to that song, I might be bruised, but I'm not broken, and I choose to live with arms wide open. Like, get into that place. That will spring you forward into divine time. Like the last video we talked about, and, look forward. Which is funny because I've made that the title and I really didn't actually use that term a whole lot in that video, but that's okay. Alright, everybody. I think I'm going to leave this nugget here. And I might do some next 48 readings soon, but we'll see where my energy lies. Anyways, for whatever reason you came to watch, thank you so much, and I'll catch you in the next video.